So here we are at the end of August and renters are still paying their rents. But why are homeowners not paying their mortgages? So the new reports are out and they're showing that in general, households across America are paying their rent despite massive unemployment and a general lack of government aid at the moment. According to the rent payment tracker of the National Multifamily Housing Council, on average across the United States, 87% of renters have made a full or partial payment on their rent during the month of August. That's only 2 points off of where we were a year ago when the economy was humming along and booming and nobody knew what the coronavirus was. Remember that? 2019? Better times. Now, that said, it's not all great news. I mean, unemployment is steadily declining through the month of July down to about 10.2%, which is much lower, as bad as it sounds, from the high of 14.7% just a couple of months ago back in April. However, as the relief of the CARES Act starts to dry up, that could have an effect on rent collections. Unfortunately, as we know, the $600 a week federal unemployment benefit ended at the end of July. Even though unemployment is on a steady decline, it's not going to be enough of an improvement to make up the difference in the gap between where people are and where people need to be financially. It's unfortunately likely going to lead to a lot of households that rent being in severe financial distress. The Department of Labor estimates that since coronavirus touched down on U.S. soil, the U.S. economy has lost 13 million jobs. 13 million jobs. That's a lot. Add into the equation the fact that many states put a moratorium on evictions, and now those moratoriums are expiring. So if they're not renewed, right or wrong, landlords are going to be allowed to start evicting people who haven't paid rent in months. At the end of the day, landlords have a business to run as well. If you're a real estate investor watching this channel, then you know darn well most real estate investors do not own massive amounts of units and can live through not getting paid rent. So we'll see what the months ahead of us have to offer as far as rental data and whether or not collections stay pretty much on pace with where they were before the pandemic ever occurred. But at the moment, we're still okay. Unfortunately, it all comes down to a general lack of affordable housing in the United States. Every one of the 50 states has an affordable housing issue. And if you would like to know more about the affordable housing crisis and how you can invest in affordable housing and make a solid return, to learn more about both the crisis itself and the returns and possibilities and opportunities for you to make money while helping solve that crisis, click the link above and watch the video we did on affordable housing investing. Hopefully you'll take away something valuable from that video and the information we tried to provide. And, if you're enjoying those types of videos and the content we're providing, then maybe now's a good time to ask you to hit that like button so that the YouTube algorithm knows you enjoy the content and will feed you more of the content similar to this and get our content out to everybody else in the YouTube universe. And while you're at it, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because that would really help this channel continue to grow. All right, so now that we covered renters and the fact that they are continuing to pay rent, let's figure out why homeowners are not paying their mortgages. We even did a whole video on the fact that you can defer your mortgage payments. There's forbearance and deferment options in place. And guess what I'm going to tell you? Click the link above if you want to check that video out as well. But let's get into it. Because right now, 1 in 6 FHA mortgage holders is delinquent. FHA mortgages are largely considered, and for good reason, as America's most accessible and affordable mortgage options out on the market. So the fact that 16% of FHA mortgages are in delinquency as of the second quarter of this year is a problem. That's the largest delinquency rate on FHA mortgages going back 40 years to 1979. FHA mortgages are generally made to first-time homebuyers, and they do allow homebuyers to put down a much smaller down payment than the normal 20% that a conventional loan would require. They're also typically made to people with lower income and maybe not so great credit that don't necessarily qualify for a conventional mortgage. So perhaps you're thinking, gee, not really surprising that those are the people who are on the fringe of society that aren't able to pay their mortgage, and 16% of them are delinquent during a coronavirus pandemic that's affecting the economy in the worst way a lot of us can ever remember. Fair enough, and probably easy enough to think that, but 6.7% of conventional mortgages are also delinquent right now. The truth is, a number of borrowers stopped paying their mortgage as soon as they lost their jobs due to this coronavirus pandemic. Now, if you're an FHA mortgage holder, then there's something called the Federal Forbearance Program that will allow you, at least in the short term, to stop paying your mortgage without the risk of a foreclosure. But that only lasts for 12 months. Coronavirus has been going on for a while now. A lot of conventional lenders did offer a deferment or forbearance program, but again, those may not have been for a full 12 months either. So you may be thinking, well, why don't people just refinance? Federal interest rate cuts have made 30-year conventional loans the lowest rates they've been in 50 years. Well, it's not that easy to get a bank to give you a loan when you don't have an income, understandably. That being said, if you were in the process of getting a loan and you lost your job, or you were buying a house and needed a mortgage and you lost your job, there is something called the COVID caveat. It is very lender specific, and they will tell you whether or not they are willing to make the loan for you. If you'd like to know more about that, hey, guess what? We made a video about it. Click that link above and check that video out as well. That being said, in general, although mortgage rates are at record lows right now, a lot of banks have made it more difficult to actually get the loan. People they would have made loans to as borrowers a year ago, no problem, without even a second thought. You want a loan? You want a loan? You want a loan? You got it. Today, they're just nervous about putting that much money out into a vulnerable market with a lot of unknowns and a lot of uncertainty about where the future is going to take us in the next 12 months. So because of that, a lot of banks, especially smaller banks, are not willing to make the loans that they would have made previously. So although they're record low rates, it is harder to qualify for those loans with certain lenders. So do your shopping around if you're looking to refinance. Test the market, because their banks still need to get the money out into the street and into the market and invest. Otherwise, they're not going to see returns. But they're just being more cautious. So do your own due diligence to see what's available if you are looking to refinance. Overall, I hope you really did get something out of this video, whether it be an analysis of where the market is currently, whether you're a real estate investor, a homeowner, both, and you're looking to just understand where the market is as far as rental performances nationwide and mortgage lending nationwide. Again, it all varies by specifics to your local market, so, do your own homework. But in general, that's where we stand as of the month of August 2020, the year that will go down in infamy. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Hit the like button. We really appreciate it. YouTube algorithm also appreciates it. And we would really appreciate if you hit subscribe, because we're trying to continue to grow the content on this channel. We're putting out at least 2 videos a week. A lot of it is informative, market, general investing strategies, and we're also answering a lot of your questions in videos. So leave a comment below if there's a topic you'd like to see. If you have questions, you could also click on our About link in our homepage of this channel and contact us directly with any questions you have. Again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. See you soon.